Hello, everyone. It's Trace Face here today, doing this video right here from my living room, back home. Got back home a little while, a few days back here, and trying to get caught up. This video comes to you all today from a very generous donation. We will call her T for this video, for the purpose of this video. Who just remember, guys, if you send me a donation of anything $45 and above, I will do a video on your behalf, whether it's that you are writing in a story to me with a question at the end, or just a question in general, or you just would like to write in your story, or whatever video topic maybe you would like for me to do. You can always do that, and I'll be happy to do a video on your behalf. So I'm going to jump right into this today. T has done a great job of writing in all the details so that we can try to help other people out there that may have been in a similar situation. And this video is going to be all about how narcissistic families that have more than one narcissist, as either your parents, your siblings, grandparents, aunts, uncles, you name it, narcissistic family members, or it just could be one that does this kind of a thing. Okay, it doesn't have to be the birds of a feather idea. In T's scenario here, you're going to see how they all stuck together, and you will find, if you have more than one narcissist in your family dynamics, they will stick together in the way they think, act, feel, operate. They're going to gaslight together. They're going to smear campaign together. Their mentality is the same. So you're going to find that they're going to do this. And sometimes, as we know, in families, it could just literally be one person that can create hell for you growing up and into adulthood. So let's get into this here. Hey, Trace, I appreciate you doing this. I'm glad you got away for a while and enjoyed yourself with good people. For those of you that might just be watching this, I did do a retreat. I'm going to be doing another one in the fall, so please contact me so I can get you that information. You can sign up. The amount of people we can have for a retreat, it does tend to get booked quickly. So make sure you email me at tracefaceit@gmail.com to let me know you're interested. So as I get the details going forward for October, I can send that to you. I'm going to attempt to explain what happened to me. I was around 10 or 11 years old. My mother's only sister, which was my aunt, she's passed now. She married a very abusive man in every sense of the word. Well, of course, I didn't know this as a child. I have 6 cousins on my mother's side, 5 girls and 1 boy. They are all older than me. My family would have gatherings at my aunt's husband's club that he had. And this went on for all types of occasions growing up. As I said, I was probably about 10 or 11 years old when this happened. I was standing by the pinball machine. Towards the wall to my left, there was an older man blocking me, standing towards my right. We were watching this other kid hit the ball playing pinball. All of a sudden, I feel a hand on my buttocks. I'm trying to be easy with words here. He slowly did it and then continued over my jeans. I was nervous, but I was not the type of child that was scared. I was very brave. I couldn't move out of that spot because the wall was to my left and he was to my right, which was the way to move out of that situation. He started going towards the front with his fingers. It seemed like forever. I said, "Excuse me, please," and I hurried up and got out of the situation. I immediately went over and told my parents, "Mom, Dad, that guy over there, I don't know who he is or what his name is. He touched me," etc., and began to tell them what just happened. My parents just looked at me. It's like they didn't care, and they didn't even want to believe what I was saying. But then again, looking back, my parents were very abusive towards me. both physically and verbally, not sexually. My parents eventually, with my continued persistence on talking about it that day, I kept saying, that man right there sexually molested me. I went over to him and I said, my parents eventually went over to him and said, did you touch my daughter? No, he says, I would never do that. My mother looked at me and said, you see, he said he didn't do it. Now leave him alone. Go and play. I got to hear so much about this in sessions. As my parents went back to the party, eating and drinking and laughing like nothing ever happened, it hurt me so much. My oldest cousin, the boy, overheard all of this going on. He ran over to my parents and said, T is telling the truth, as if my word had no meaning. He said, that man also molested my sisters. His name is Lewis. He is my uncle's nephew. My parents stood there and looked at him and did nothing. I don't know to this day what the extent of this pedophile has done to the other girl cousins I have that are now in their 50s. I don't know what happened to them. They could have been raped or sexually assaulted too. And how many times? My family has kept these cousins from talking to me. And I was told at that age, and as I continue to ask throughout the years, to leave this man alone by my parents. I ended up running away from home and away from my toxic family for numerous reasons. I have been on my own since I was 15. My mother ended up calling me up when I was 17. She told me that I have to come over to the house because they were having a huge block party and she wanted me there. And she needed help setting up everything outside. And she needed help to carry out the food because of her bad back. Regardless of everything that had happened, I felt that I had to do this back then. I had to put the abuse aside because after all, she was still my mother, right? So I ended up going. I asked her ahead of time, hey, Ma, who's coming to this? She said, your aunt and your cousins. And of course, I'm not thinking anything at this point. It had been many years. So I'm getting the food ready to bring outside to the table. And guess who was sitting there? The guy that sexually molested me as a child. I went inside and said, Ma, why is that man here? He molested me. My mother says, oh, T, you just stop it. That happened years ago. Let it go. Leave him alone. The betrayal. Words don't speak how I felt. I ended up leaving. I tried to call my father, which he knows about everything that this man did. And he ended up blocking his phone from me. I tried to go to his house in my late teenage years to talk to him, to find out. I wanted to know, who was this molester? What was his first and last name? What was his information? My dad never opened the door. At this time, my father and mother were divorced and he was remarried. He called my mother up playing the victim and said, T is harassing me. If she comes here one more time, I'm calling the cops and I'm getting a restraining order on her. Only because I simply wanted the man's information that did this to me. My mother also told me to lose her number and to pretend that she was dead. They ended up slandering my name to the extended family. My mother winded up dying in 2013 of lung cancer. I heard through the grapevine she was on her deathbed. And God forgive me, I didn't know if I was happy about it or if I should have felt bad because after all, she was my mother. But the only thing that made her my mother is giving birth to me. I did see her in the hospital. She actually died right in front of me. I went to the funeral to show respect, even though that's all I ever wanted from them was respect, and they never showed it to me. Now I was once again surrounded by my toxic family and the extended, the stares, the looks I got. I ignored all of it. I ended up seeing my father there. I didn't cause a scene. or anything like that at my mother's funeral. My father and I ended up exchanging numbers at this point. The next couple of days, he calls me up and says, oh, after the funeral, we ended up going to your cousin's house. And I said, oh, yeah. And he says, yeah, that guy was there. I said, what guy? He said, Lewis. I said, the guy that molested me? I said, what did you say? He said, nothing. We just ate. I hung up on him. Over the recent years, I'd actually tried reaching out to my 5 female cousins, and including the male, asking them to please give me this man's information. And if you don't mind, please tell me what this man has done to you, if you feel comfortable sharing. And I left my number. My cousins blocked me. I know that my father is the ringleader of all of this. He tells people don't speak to me, so they won't, including my brother, who also blocked me. I know in my heart that once a child molester, always a child molester. It's been decades now, and I can't prove this, but I'm sure he's done it and has done it to so many other children. I prayed about this recently. I don't trust the government or police or anything. But the new governor here in New York signed May 24th, 2022 to take the statute of limitations off on sexual abuse for adult survivors and to bring these molesters to justice. I was very happy about that. I tried again to contact my father, my brother, my cousins. I'm blocked from everybody. I don't know this man's full name. I just know it's Lewis. I don't know why they won't give me his information. Well, because it doesn't affect their lives in any way, I suppose. Why would a family protect a child molester? He molested all of the cousins. It's never going to stop, or probably didn't stop in all those years. I actually spoke to attorneys. I had free consultations. One said he is alive. I said, one said, is he alive? I said, I have no idea. No one is telling me anything. Another attorney said, is he a politician, a celebrity? I now know why they asked me this question. It's because they wanted money. I said, I don't want to sue. I just want him in jail. I want justice. I want to find out others he may have done this to. I figured maybe I could try talking to a female attorney because maybe she'd be more understanding. No, I was told by her secretary that I have to put down $10,000 retainer and it will cost me $500 an hour. And my family refuses to tell me anything, as they are all enjoying their lives and their laughing trips. And it kills me every day inside. Even criminals in jail hate child molesters, but a family actually protects them. Move on, T, and let it go. So yes, maybe I'll never get the justice, but this is the ultimate betrayal for my entire family. And the only thing I can think of is why would a family protect a low life like this? Because in my eyes, they are just as bad as him. Birds of a feather. Thank you for listening to my story. I have numerous, but this was and will always never go away in my head. I'm hoping that this can help other adult survivors that have been through this know that there are others out there and don't give up. I've met a lot of women that have gone through this, not the same story as mine, but that have been molested with their family members, including their own fathers and mothers, and allowing this to continue. I'm looking forward to you doing this video. Thanks, Trace. Take care of you. Sending love and light always to you, my friend. Sincerely, always, T. I'm going to share with you guys also the text message exchange that went on between her and her own father. This is deplorable. She said to her father, and I quote, I was telling people how I feel that men hate me. I feel that. Can you blame them? I mean, so I explained to them what happened to me as a child when Lewis touched my butt. Her father responds, yes, but don't forget, Lewis had mental issues. And she writes, and if he didn't, and he writes, I was asked to please let that incident go because his parents would have been devastated. My blood is boiling. And Aunt M and Uncle B and your mother wanted to let it go. He writes, I'm not arguing at all. And no, it doesn't make the incident right, but it does put that specific incident in a different light. Of course, if it was something like rape, then it's a completely different category. Unbelievable. First of all, I just want to say to you, thank you so very much for coming forward and having the guts to share this with others, because this is an extremely difficult topic to have to turn around and dig up and try to get some answers. Before I forget, I do have a connection that might be able to help us find this person. That's what she does. She does research. We were able to find another client and family. They were looking for somebody that had been taken out of the family and gaslit and isolated from the rest of the family. And we were able to find some information with her help. This is what she does. And I'm very close to her. So don't forget, T, to reach out to me. I'm going to reach out to you when I'm finished with this video. Yes, we probably are going to be able to find this guy. I have some ideas too, because I used to do this line of work for a little bit. Anyway, I want to first of all say that to you. Thank you so much for coming forward to talk about this very, very difficult subject matter. And what I want to say to you is this, okay? Now, I think one of your original questions was, how do I let go of the anger around this? Okay. Well, first and foremost, it's really hard to let something like this go when you have people that were supposed to be in your corner, protecting you, who wanted you to shut up. Shut up. Stop talking about it. It didn't happen. And if it did, it's not that big of a deal. And hey, it's not like you got raped. That's basically what your father said to you. And there is nothing more frustrating and hurtful and devastating than having your own family members tell you that what you went through doesn't matter. How you feel about it doesn't matter. What matters is protecting their image and protecting the parents of that lowlife that did this to you. That's what matters. There's nothing more deplorable and disgusting, in my opinion. And as you and I have done sessions together, it's a no wonder you feel the way you feel about a lot of things in life. One thing I have to say about you that really I'm proud of, and really you channeled a lot of your anger, is you hit the gym every day, and you hit the gym hard, and you work out really hard. And that's a place that you get to go to get out that residual energy that's inside that nobody wanted to help you with. Nobody cared. Everyone just wanted you to shut up. Now, having said that, I will say, okay, for your age group, my age group, people older than us, and even families, that were born in the 90s. Okay, things have really come a long way, but you didn't talk about this stuff back then. You did not talk about this stuff back then. There were no resources for this kind of a thing. There was no education. There was no such thing as narcissism. There was no such thing as gaslighting. It was like skeletons in the closet. And back in the day, every family had them. Be hard pressed to find a family that didn't have this kind of a thing. where they were actually encouraged, most likely by MDs and psychologists, if you did go talk to someone or a counselor, even a Christian counselor, look what they were doing in the Catholic Church. Hush, hush, hush. Oh, you had a baby in high school? You know what they would do to these people? If you had a baby in high school, they were telling the women to don't tell anybody in your own immediate family. They would put the women in houses, in these homes that they would send them away, where the nuns and the priests would tell them exactly what they were going to do with that baby, which is put it up for adoption, whether the mother wanted to or not. And they would convince the families that this is what they had to do. And then they would tell all the families that that the daughter was going to modeling school for a year. I mean, these are the decades we grew up in and around. This is what they did. When I did adoption work and went through all these old cases, it was one after another after another. It was all about covering everything up, hiding things. Something terrible happened to you. Well, we're just going to hide that happened, and you need to forget about it. And I know, T, exactly how you feel. You don't forget about things like that. You know, I didn't go through that, but I went through things that I was told to let go. Do not think about it. Do not harp on it. That didn't happen. It happened later on in my life, but it's a horrible feeling. So I can't even imagine you and the other people I work with being a helpless, innocent little child. And the only person that seems to care about what happened is you. That's horrible. When you initially asked me to do this video and talk about this, it's like I can see clear as day now. Not only has narcissism been prevalent since the beginning of time with this kind of a thing, but it went on so often back in the day, and nothing was, it went undetected for so long, for so many situations, and these families just got away with it. And now here you are at your age, and you're educated on this, and you've recognized what it is that happened to you, and you have all this anger, and rightfully so. You had initially asked me, what do I do with this anger? Well, first thing I'm going to tell you that we need to do together as a team is we need to do everything we can to see if we can't find this person. I'm actually doing this with a few other people right now too. All right. That way there, you're going to feel as though you did everything you can to think about that little girl that you're still trying to protect right now at where you're at. You're still thinking about that little girl. You're still trying to protect her. And that is the first step. Yes, we need to figure this out. We need to see if he's still alive. We need to put that to bed. We need to put that to rest. The second thing is, I do believe, from now doing this for 4 years and trying to help as many people as I can, I've watched patterns of things that work. And I've watched people that seem to be stuck and people that seem to be healing. And I do believe in a few things that I'm going to share that I need to remind people of. You do need to go to somebody once a week. You could be doing sessions once every few months, trying to do sort of these surface sessions. I don't believe that works as much, because you need to go to a place, a solid place once a week, that you're trying to talk about all the stuff that you have buried and that is pent up and that you're feeling. Okay. A session here and there isn't really going to do it. You need to talk to somebody that you trust. You need to be able to get this stuff out. You need to be able to cry if you haven't cried. This stuff we can bury to the point where we feel like we can't cry, but burying things like this is not good. You gotta have a place that you're going to even just build trust with somebody again, and feel as though you feel comfortable to share you said you have more, that's just one story of things that happened to you. So this is something I know to be true. Um, you need to think about joining a group, okay? Group sessions with other people that have been through narcissistic abuse as a child, as an adult, really, really helps for you to not feel alone. It puts perspective on things. It helps you to see clearly that, I don't have to do this thing alone. I have support. I mean, we saw so much of this during the retreat last week, where people just felt supported. People felt heard. People felt like they got something out of them that they've been trying to stuff down for years and years and years. People listen to others to say, oh my goodness, like you went through this too, or you felt like this too. That really helps. And the last thing that I know for sure helps, besides groups and one-to-one coaching that you're putting in that time once a week, is a prayer and fast, a prayer and a fast. And I run these groups once a month. You got to attack this stuff spiritually. If I could convince everybody that I work with to do that first and foremost, I would. The good thing about it is most people that I have worked with one-to-one for a solid period of time end up wanting to do this prayer and fast because I'm encouraging them to do it. And you have to seek deliverance from this stuff, because it can really eat you up inside. And the devil wants nothing more than to keep you right where he's always had you, to keep you in this place of self-doubt, of anger, continuous anger, of whatever it is that he knows he's got you. And you have to be willing to say goodbye to that old self to make way for the new self, that new self that doesn't have the pent-up anger, that has been able to let something so deep go, or been able to forgive these characters in your life, get to that place that you can. And that takes a lot of time and work. But you see, the devil wants to keep us right where he's had us. So in terms of the anger, and in terms of, I always tell people to, Maisie, stop. My God. She's a nut. My cat. I always tell people that I really strongly believe, especially for people that have been sexually abused, physically abused, and I mean, even emotionally abused, I really do believe in the art of dance or martial arts, a way that you can use your body to move and get that energy out of you, those negative things that occurred out of you, and be able to express yourself freely. I know for a fact that stuff works. I know some people are runners. They feel like when they run, they're just getting away from all the things that are going on or that have gone on. You need to find something like that. Also, I really, really believe in martial arts, and Kim, who's been on the channel, will tell you that she got involved in martial arts in her late 30s, and she's been doing it for 16 years, and it's done wonders for her. It's inspired a lot of people to want to do this too. And I know when I've taken classes and when I've done it, I've noticed a major difference. I'm a strong advocate of martial arts. But yeah, these are all the things that I can tell you that I know help. You don't have to do this thing alone. You can't do this thing alone. So once again, you're reaching out like this to to try to connect with others out there that have been through this, and be brave enough to tell your story. You have no idea how many other people you are helping. Please, guys, leave your comments for T. If you've gone through this, or you know of others that have gone through this, or if you have, any wise counsel or words for T. And if you want to just simply thank her for being brave enough to share this very horrible story. Guys out there that are listening to this, you know, all of you out there that are listening to this, I always say guys, it's just a thing we do here in New England. You know, all of you, don't let anybody tell you your story. You know your story. For you empaths out there that know what the truth is, you know the truth. You know what happened. You know how it made you feel. And don't let anybody ever try to diminish that or tell you how you should feel about a certain thing like this, especially something like this. And just as you said, T, the betrayal is horrific. That's what hurts the most. That's the slap in the face. That's the gaslighting we talk about here on this channel. I don't care if the whole room tried to saw it and tried to convince you it didn't happen. Don't let anybody ever do this to you. You guys, don't let anybody ever do this to you. Tell your story. Tell it with conviction. And do everything you can do to get healing for yourself. Okay. And that's my words of wisdom and encouragement. I am Trace Face. And as always, it's time we face the truth together.